Welcome to Nevermind the Furthermore. Wait a minute, this music isn't right, the scene isn't right. Hang on. That's more like it. And now it's time for the show for all creatives. Nevermind the Furthermore. Your source for conversation, inspiration, and fun. With your host, Nicholas Anthony Tockert. He's an artist, a writer, a swordsman, and a game designer. He knows how to use the sword and axe in historical battles without anybody getting hurt too much. He's also the Manatee Man, master of marketing. And he may even have a guest or two. One thing, though, to be certain. Just don't call him a cryptid. With that, it's about time for the show. So sit back, enjoy, and have some coffee and chat with us.
Good morning, Nevermornings. I'm your host with the most, Mr. Nicholas Anthony Tockert, coming to you over the airways on WNTF. Never mind the furthermore. Bam! Before we get into it, I need to remind you, my duckies, my loves, that Nevermind the Furthermore is brought to you but with the generous support of our good friends over at indiecd.org. Yes, the Independent Creator Directory, your one-stop shop for the best and the brightest authors, artists, musicians, and collaborators to help you make your project happen. And if you are a small creator trying to make your start in the world for a simple and low one-time fee of $40, you can go to the Independent Creator Directory, follow this link, it's in the chat, and you can secure yourself a lifetime membership that will get you access to a secret social media group. The event calendar where you can put up what's going on, what conventions you're going to. Because remember, when you share and you promote the conventions you're going to, you're promoting everyone else going there. So we absolutely want to support each other in this and in everything we do. We're also made possible by my books, which are completely, here they are. The Simple Sword, The Fighting Axe, and The Simple Spear, all part of my ongoing book series of Western martial arts manuals to help you go from so you've never held a sword to I can teach it to others. We're also made possible by the games I produce, such as the Big Stumpy Robots Core Rulebook. Now, the Big Stumpy Robots Core Rulebook has 2 novels attached to it, Small Arms and Eyes to the Sky. Expect more very soon. That's part of what I'll be doing just as soon as I can get through the rest of Haints and Hellfire 2. Haints and Hellfire? Well, that would be my currently the best-selling of any of my productions in its short start run. Haints and Hellfire, an introduction to the wonderful world of bizarre eldritch things happening near the Appalachian Mountains in a little town called Valesburg, where 2 reporters go to cover a story of death and despair, only to find themselves on opposite sides of a supernatural clash. Guys, this is good. You will enjoy it. I know, because I'm getting some reviews, but I need more. Guys, review this book. And if you got this, know that this book was originally supposed to be only a few hundred words in this little anthology. Through the Thinning Veil, Volume 1, 7 great stories to chill your bones. Some of them are based on my time as a paranormal consultant. Some of them are absolute fiction, and it's up to you to figure out which ones are which. Don't worry, I don't tell you at the end. That's one you'll have to ask me about. Now, if you bought any of my books at the Independent Creator Convention, please take the time out of your day to go onto Amazon and review them. Yes, I know it won't say that you're a verified purchaser. That's fine. I want your opinions. They don't have to be excessively flattering. Good constructive criticism does help me get better. And I am working on the things that people have told me about already on several of my works. However, we got to do it one step at a time. Now, with that being done, I need my accountability. I need to do this just for a second because I cannot end in the middle of a sentence. I pathologically cannot do it. And no, the word "the" does not need to be capitalized every single. Oh, okay. We're not gonna sit that. Okay, I am at 20,289 words, which means I'm still keeping my average of about 1,200 to 1,500 words every 2 days or so, which is fine. There will be more because it is Wednesday, and after I get through my lovely program, with considering how bad both the weather and my internet's being, we will. I'll probably get more into that. So far, I've heard no complaints from my review staff, so we're doing pretty good. We just have to see how everything else is going. Now, today is Wednesday. So I will be doing artwork in the very near future to knock things out for the thumbnails for next week, as I usually do on Wednesdays, because I don't really feel bad about overrunning Nita and Daphne's time, and it means I don't feel bad for missing it because I do watch their programs. But let's get into it. Now, I know the weather sucks right now. For those of you who aren't there, we had about a 70-degree weather switch, and then we're coming back up from it over the course of overnight. So I may or may not feel like I am being pulled apart like Stretch Armstrong. And it's one of those where I sincerely hope that I'm going to get up and pop and sound like a bunch of maracas or fireworks going off and feel worlds better. But until that time happens, we're going to get through it because we do not allow middling, trifling things to get in our way. Now, I will be in the near future doing my crank up for Region Con, which is less than 2 months away. It's April 13th or 14th. I literally just closed the thing. But let me see. I will be joined there by Joe and Trelena, should the world work right at all. And that means I will be able to see either the 13th or the 14th. I'll be able to have the joy of that program without that convention without having to run it. So as busy and movie as stuff is, it still shouldn't be that difficult. There we go. Yes, April 13th, and it's running 10 to 10, which I find delightful because it wasn't used, it didn't previously. 500 East Joliet Street, Cherville, Indiana. And unfortunately, when I cut and pasted the comments, the stuff from their site, there's a little bit of formatting issue, but it's me. There's always a formatting issue. Have you seen me? No. But Region Con is the spiritual successor to Arctic Con, something I was proud to be part of for a very long time, and something very near and dear to my heart. So, Region Con is a big deal to me. It's one of my major events of the year, and I mean major like the way Christmas is a major event to people's ear. So I will be having to set up and make vast quantities of big stompy robots. I'm going to have to work on my gaming books and my tactics books. I have a lot in the works. Now you will notice I am chewing gum. Normally I would not do that on a live stream. I try to get rid of it, but with the pressure changes we're having, my ears have to constantly pop. It's just part of the joy of being next to a literal ocean of wind here in the wonderful world of Earl Park. So, pardon me if you see that. I'm not trying to be rude. It is medical necessity, or else the headache would be blinding. So, let's get into aside from my other work, what's accountability? Friends, I have been challenged. Mr. Damian Waldron has asked me to do some kind of what was it? An art off kind of thing. He wants to do a live show where he and I will both respond to the same prompt, drawing for about an hour, I believe is how long the show is. I don't know when we're going to do it. I have to speak to Amanda to verify my scheduling, because it would have to be a weekend or evening, which, as you guys know, I am very protective of. That is something I'm looking forward to. We'll see how it goes. This is it's a good time, since I didn't get to see him at the IndieCD.com. So we are moving forward. I have checked with all the vendors that I've been able to get a hold of, and it looks like everybody made more than their table fees, which at a first year con, when the weather took a complete dump and blew all of our signs away, is a pretty good accomplishment. We are right on the line whether we broke even or just didn't quite break even, because in the tallies, I felt that we had to spend some extra money that we wouldn't have if there had been proper food vendors. But people flaked out, and people flaked out. When you're on your literal third fallback, and they flake out, you have to do things like go down to Casey's and buy donuts and pizza for your vendors, because danged if they're going to be hungry on my watch. So yeah. But to be that close first year with everything that happened means the world to me. Plus, my books got into some people's hands. I got to demo BSR. This is a good time. And I was like, Nick, why didn't you talk more about it Monday? Because I was still fried. You put your heart and soul into running an event, and you're going to be cooked a little bit. Part of why I'm looking forward to RegionCon is it will be just me being a vendor and running big stompy robots in a setting where I usually know what's going on. It should be a good year, even though it's their first year at a new site. So we're looking at it. And I'm still hammering away at Hanson Hellfire 2, because, the lovely and often contradictory group of my beta readers have absolutely demanded that. And following the Historical Fencing Guild Patreon patrons, the beta readers are, the most levering force in my broadcasting career. Except Joe, because, meddle not with Joe. He lives in the background, and he can do strange things like turn my screen upside down or force me into a wonderful world of gradients, which is funny because people poke fun at the gradient thing, and there is a rainbow gradient on the background of it. Yes, hi, Joe. As my organs turn to jelly from the look Joe influences, it's like I swear he turns into the demon from Legend, just for a second, goes, "Roark." I'm sure there's an app for that on iPhone. Anyway, but yes, we are moving forward. And sometimes you have to do that. Now, as my season gets busier, weirdness is going to compound. This is okay, because this is the start of busy season. We have this convention, we have Region Con, and then I expect a couple others to be popping up as opportunities knock. Yay, business. Now, I want to talk to you guys about something on that front. The only way we're going to be able to tell things is if we are open and forthright, about our sales, about what works and what doesn't. I really want to commend folks, because a lot of people have asked me some really great questions about setting up a booth, setting up, merchanting things. There is a question in the chat I want to get to in a bit that I saw come up as I am trying to keep the comment dumps, processed, because every so often I'll reach over here, click a comment dump while I'm doing my monologue. But now is not the time to slack, friends. We are coming up on the spring at the end of our winter of discontent. And while I know some current events are problematic to spooky, I know there's a lot going on, but some great things are also coming down the pipe, and they will be better if we make them better. Because, a huge amount of what your world is, what your world manifests, is what you look for. If you are out looking for darkness, you will find it. If you are out looking for what is the best humanity can do, you can find that as well. And you can always change your situation. Right now, I know some of us are going through some pretty tough times, health-wise, situation-wise. I talk to a lot of people, and I am here for you folks, and the rest of the people in this chat are here for you. You don't have to face anything alone. Please don't. Okay? Now, I'm going to, instead of prattling on today about this, because I want to get through the chat so I can get to doing some art, I'm going to run Joe's ad, and I have to catch up with some ads on some other people, and we will see. As soon as I know what's going on with Damien, I'll let you know. But I have to check with the boss for scheduling. So we'll see Joe's ad, and then we'll get back to the show. See you real soon. Yeah, folks, Indie CD is something I'm proud to be involved with. I'm glad that I could take my first real, major author convention and dedicate at least a large part of it to promoting Joe Buckman's work, because he's just that good a guy. Let's get into your comments, okay? And let's see. Boom. Whoa. All right, first through the door says, okay, apparently a bunch of comments got cut off because at 8:59 it says, good morning, Dan. So a bunch of you must have greeted me and then it just decided to cut them off. Because I know there were a bunch before then, but good morning, Alec, and accountability. Not a lot, but I ordered my glasses from Zenny. They'll be here in about a week or so. I'm just working my butt off at school. Mental health went down, so school went down with it. But now I'm getting a steadier place, and I'm working on getting back up there. Good. You work on that. A little birdie told me how that was going, and you just need to get it done. Okay. Don't let yourself backslide, and don't disguise the fact you're having trouble again. Okay. Because we can't help you if we don't know you're having issues. Morning, Dan and Alec. And accountability. Dan Hallfield says, I now have all submissions downloaded for May issue of Apphilion. That's the entire backlog. I can now begin answering submissions in real time. Woohoo! Yeah, I think retirement is really suiting you, Dan. Morning, Carl. Carl says, you will do better, Alec, especially once you are out of school with all its pressures. College or art school will be much more accepting. Yes. You just... I'm going to say something that might sound bad, but for some of us, D is for done had to happen. Hi. I graduated because I had like point something in my my last geometry class over, into a D. I mean, like, it was literally less than a point, and I'm pretty sure my teacher gave it to me because he knew I had worked hard. You just got to get done, get graduated, and get out. You've got that scholarship lined up. You are in a position to really, really make your life a lot better and gain control of it. Now, that means responsibility. But you won't be in a position where you have the responsibility for your situation actions, but not the authority to change it, which is the hardest thing about being a teenager, I remember. Well, one of the hardest things. So we believe in you. Let's see. Accountability. Carl says, I need to count up how many print books we have in the van and see if we need to reorder or let some books go to ebooks and not haul them around. Okay. Yeah. You guys are still running a pretty minimalist booth. I don't know I can't remember if you have book stands that hold any of your books up vertically or not. If you can, you might want to get some more of the wire things that hold the book upright, because that might really help your sales. And Donna had an idea to just sell PDFs on a flash drive. Not all that worried about piracy, because that could create more fans to buy future works as PDFs, that is. Double check your contract, etc., with whomever you're publishing through. And I mean, you could try it. I'm not sure how well that will go, but you can try it. It's an interesting style. Sorry, I have to ponder that one a bit. It's an interesting thing. And Dan Hallfield says, download a free copy of Calibre, and you can put a copy of each book in ebook format on the flash drives or Calibre. Yeah, that's a great program. Thanks, Carl. And Joe is greeting everyone. Good morning, Dan, Carl, Dan, and Alec. And hey, Joe B. Sorry, I was down the hall talking with Donna. Well, Donna's worth going down the hall for. We understand. And Alec is saying, good morning, everyone. Hey, Alec is already so talented as an artist. I can't wait to see what their art looks like in 5 years. Yes, with more practice and more refinement of intermediate to advanced techniques, working on foreshortening, working on composition, I would consider a bit of color theory work. There's a long way that Alec can go. And if you put in the hours, you will get better. And it's and this is not me being derogatory of Alec's work at all. It's impressive stuff. But yeah, I want to see where he's at in 5 years. Accountability, says Joe, working on a new story based in another writing prompt from I could speak the English language. Okay. Start that over. Accountability, working on another story based on another writing prompt from Prompt. Why do I say prompt? It's a prompt. Okay. Prompt from Apphelion webzine. Already have 1 chapter complete. Starting to work on chapter 2. That's great, Joe. Pick it up and lay it down. I'm proud of you. April 13th, 10 to 10. This is the information for RegionCon. Why it cut off the name of the event. This is the big gaming event of my year. They've moved the date around. They've changed some things. But this is going to be a great date. They have a brand new site. I will be on site running big stumpy robots from my booth, doing on-site art and generally running amok. Joe Bachman and Trelena Bachman will be there, hopefully alongside us. It will be a great time. I hope to see any of you who are interested in miniatures gaming, tabletop gaming, really addictive auctions of gaming stuff done by the Board, which is a great game shop that has come to several of my favorite cons. There are people I usually have to throw money at, whether I would want to or not, but usually I want to. And free, because children under 12 are admitted free to that, and that's just the copy. Now, question: do most vendors have rules about selling only your own stuff at cons? I'm thinking about forming a Rising Tide booth for bigger cons and selling the works of others too. This is where it gets interesting. You have to check the requirements of the individual conventions. For example, some conventions say there are no no flea market style booths, that your stuff has to be on subject with whatever the convention is about. That being said, a lot of people essentially sublet space in their booth. We sublet some space basically for our friend Kivrin St. James. Yes, that is her pen name. No, I'm not going to give you her information because she is... Kivrin is a project of mine, friends. And she would have a long way to go before she could ever start appearing in chats and things. So usually if there is a lurker, if you look at the numbers and there's somebody who's watching and they're not in the chat, that's usually Kivrin. But so it can be done. For a long time, that's how I dealt technically with Joe and Trelena. I put my booth out, and then Amanda started selling stuff. So Amanda's stuff got kind of pulled into my booth. Yay. And Trelena was helping at our booth, and she wanted to sell stuff. So her stuff got pulled in, and then Joe's stuff got pulled in. And now they're doing their own independent business stuff all on their own. And I'm so proud of them, I could scream. But it's a little heartbreaking watching. Once again, I'm watching them grow up and do stuff. And Trelena has this habit of doing that to me. But it's really cool. So, yeah, I will never have a problem with that as long as it is site appropriate and basically somewhat on topic. And if you could find a way to not be on topic, you'd have for one of my conventions, it would be fairly challenging. You'd have to be doing something really weird, like trying to sell auto parts at a book, at a creatives convention. So to me, I would say no problem with it. If you actually want to get involved, There is a woman by the name of Kat Lutz, Lutz, out of Valparaiso, Indiana, who runs, I think it's Alley Cat's Emporium, which is a big kind of permanent, not quite flea market where you can buy booths, and she sells things on consignment for you guys, for people. If I had enough material, it's something I would consider because she's a very charming individual. But I would also say that that is definitely up to you. And Alex says, "Oh, thanks, Carl. It means a lot. I think I'll improve a lot in the future. I'm sticking to it. I find it funny because all my older siblings were into art, but they quit it. I'm not planning on it. Yes, please keep at your art. But remember, right now, as nice as doing your art is and staying in shape for your art and doing the shows, it can't pull away from your grades because you have to get your diploma so that you can get out and go to art school. You have a plan. If that means putting off some of the more fun stuff aside, you're going to have to do it. And that sucks. Trust me, we've all been there. But that's part of the system of growing up. And I know you can do it. I believe in you. Just like I know I'll be seeing you tomorrow, Alec, at the RPG night in Fowler, Indiana, which means that's the other thing I knew I was forgetting. Thank you for the reminder. Hey, Nick, what kind of convention is that? Region Con is it's based in ArcticCon, which was a charity gaming convention. I do not believe that Region Con is a charity gaming convention. It is a gaming convention. I want to say it's for profit, although they do have charitable opportunities inside usually. There are lots of games being demoed every year. You're going to find Warhammer. You're going to find possibly Ion if Eris is there. Usually D&D opportunities, things like that. In the gaming section, there is a really major Catan event for the country, actually. So there will be a Catan tournament, qualifier tournament for the people who get into that. So board games. The board game auction is huge and can be quite rewarding for limited price. Also, there is art being sold, as you know. That's kind of where I started. And Big Stompy Robots, of course, will be sold there. There will be gaming. And there may be, if the right people show up and there's interest, the secret RPG game that's usually held in the evening, run by yours truly. That is still up in the air because I haven't heard if people I know are going to be in attendance will be there, but we shall see. I would love to have some new stuff to show for that. We will see. I may be plotting some pretty big things. But Region Con is, like I said, the spiritual successor to ArcticCon, where I started. And it has a place in my heart. And that is Region Con. Region Con, formerly ArcticCon, is an art and gaming convention here in Northwest Indiana. Absolutely. This time it will be held in Cherville, which is fairly convenient because it's basically straight up 41 for me. Alec, a lot of people get talked out of more arty endeavors because it's not a job. Well, it is to many people. Maybe not always the same type of art, but many jobs were happy to make use of my writing skills as part of the job I did for them. Yes, I don't want you to necessarily go through, and my hair is defying gravity today, what I went through. I was not able to go to art school. So you have an opportunity I very much wanted. I can't say I regret things because I met Amanda at PNC and etc. But I would really, really recommend chasing your dreams and not giving them up. Now, I never gave up mine. It took me a long time to find a way to begin to monetize them, because I have, well, more interests than anyone should, and I am distractible, and I have a lot of people who count on me, but it is all doable. Okay? It's just going to take things I'm bad at. Organization. Focus. But it's doable. Okay? So, let's see. Dang. If I could go to Region Con, I would, but I quite literally have a craft fair show the same day. Big oof. Well, I'm sorry, I won't be able to go to your craft fair show. But nothing wrong with it. There will be other conventions. I really recommend that Joe and Trey look into an convention called LodgeCon. The rest of you can look into it. It leans more towards fantasy author work. It's very game oriented, like extremely game oriented, but there are opportunities. It's an interesting event. So I would really consider looking into it. Cindy Koepp, if Cindy Koepp could make it to Peatone, Illinois, that's a bit closer to her than most of the things I throw out. In the beginning of November, I would recommend that. It's a great convention. And it would be one of those where all her sorted things would fit in well. I know Trey's Amaguri would do well. And Joe's game-based wood burning would do well. So, plus they give you a lot of space. I think we got a 10 by 10 or 10 by 20 space. So literally a quarter of the floor space that was on my convention we had for LodgeCon. And let's see. By the Board Games and Entertainment is one of the big vendors there that does a game auction. Ugh. Man, I am just all over the place today. But yes. And Carl says, okay, I did a screenshot Region Con income. If we are free, we will see if we can go. At least attend, because I believe it's free for people who are just coming to walk through, and $10 if you intend to play games in the game room. Now, my Big Stumpy Robots demos and tourney are always free. Okay, I'm not charging people to get into that, and that the store's not. We have an understanding that our convention is basically a miniature booth inside another. It's a mini con inside a con, because that's just how we roll. And we have a lot that we learned this year that we're going to go through. Alex says, before digital art came out, Carl, my aunt used to work at a big airplane company in California by drawing parts of their airplanes. I personally wanting to go into art therapy as a career. Now, that's a good mix. Art and psychology would be very interesting for you. And good morning, Sarah. How are you? Barely awake right now. I need an IV of caffeine, stat. I'm about to faceplant onto my keyboard, but good morning anyway. Yes, this weather is definitely faceplantable. Every bone in my body wants to take a nap. So I fully understand that. But we need to keep awake, and we need to keep going, because you've got too much to do, darling. Now, where am I? I am monstrously behind today. And seeing as I am monstrously behind today, I'm going to take a pause, 9:45, and I'm going to run an ad, because we need to start catching up on those as well. Let's see, who needs an ad? You know what? We've talked a bit about Apphelion Webzine. Let's run their ad.
Hello, I'm Dan Hallfield. I'm the senior editor and publisher of Apphelion Webzine, the world's oldest free creative writing e-zine since 1997. Since then, we have held over 100 amateur writers learn what they needed to turn pro. www.aphellion-webzine.com and read not only what we've got going on right now, but 28 years worth of our archives of stories. Thank you very much.
Dan Hallfield is and has been a quiet force shaping the background of sci-fi and fantasy literally for decades. The fact that we have opportunities to reach out and take part in that and gain from the wisdom that he and people attached to him have is incredible. Before I go any further, because I wanted to mention it, I do want to put a huge shout out to Brian K. Morris and Brian Rodman for their incredible episode of Between the Bryans, their new bi-weekly, I believe, I think it's every other week, show where they discuss whatever they want to discuss. It was an interesting, I missed the beginning of it due to net issues, but it's a fascinating discussion on woke and cancel culture, and it's neat to hear things from different sides. So I want to commend them. I want you, if you get a chance to watch that as a rerun, do, because there's some quality conversation in there. And let's see, where am I? Okay. Throughout the day, Joe continues, there are Warhammer 40K, Catan tournaments, mini D&D games, and many other events. Yes, it is a good time. I'd like to see more Magic representation there, but it happens. Good idea, Alec. Sarah! Carl! Dan, I got Lindsay to the church on time. She helps out at a monthly food bank because she speaks Spanish, and some of the people needing help don't speak much English. That is delightful and commendable, Dan. I hope that works. I hope she can continue doing good work like that. That's wonderful. And Alex says, I wanted to go into psychology for a long time, not therapy aspect per se, but when I look around, there's a major need for more therapists now. I want to specialize in art therapy. Continued. Let me see if I can find where it is continued. For specific groups of people, veterans, first responders, children who have dealt with neglect, abuse, or just trauma, adults who deal with addiction, trauma, neglect, I want to specialize in. That's you're looking in that kind of thing. You have about, I'm seeing at least 3 to 4 different specializations inside that group. So you may find yourself niching down a bit because veterans, first responders, etc., is very different than children with neglect and addiction. All of these are different. I don't want to say disciplines, but they're definitely different specializations. So there's a lot to learn, but be careful. I will give you this fair warning to anyone who counsels, be it professionally or amateur. You have to be sure that you have the means to vent that off and that you yourself are stable enough to be able to help people, because you cannot pour from an empty cup. Okay? Does she sing that song if you're running late, Dan? No, I'm the one who's usually running late. I'm not the one who's usually running late. I see. Spectacular, Alec. And Alec, I am being fully supportive. I'm just being honest with you. And let's see. Good morning, Sarah. Alec, that's a very good idea. There will be a lack of counselors out there, and psych is so broad you can make it your own niche. I did. Yes. Good morning, directory. Wow. Hello, directory. Directory. I'm waiting for a little holographic Joe to appear. You know? Because it just sounded like Sarah was referring to, you know, a Cortana-like AI from Halo, just directory. Or she's read Wizard's Bane, which is a book from the, I want to say early 80s. maybe early 90s, where a programmer is launched into a fantasy world, but programming works if the command is given verbally. So it functions as spell work. It's a wonderful, wonderful book I read a long, long time ago. So a lot of times it's hit backslash da 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 execute is how he casts his spells. Seriously, if you can find it, and the series it's part of, read it. Lamau Dan and Donna's greeting everyone, and I'm greeting her because it's cold today, and I know I got Donna hugs, and they are very nice. They'll warm you up. So yes, I know. Donna, are you keeping the mojo in the dojo? I am not Billy D. Williams. Yes, I'm not the Billy D. Williams, but I am here keeping the mojo in the dojo for you. I lack a Colt 45 and I have no zigzags, but baby, that's all I need. Wow. Some of you may actually catch that reference. Some of you will not catch the references that shifted to, and that's fine. I jumped ahead to this comment already to address it. And Donna, Sarah, Alec, in the past, folks would say, suck it up and suffer in silence. Now that people are seeing therapy as a good thing, there's lack of enough therapists out there. Yes, and I will say this from dealing with people who did not get therapy when they needed it. Please understand, if somebody has been dealing with something for decades and you try to use methods to reopen it, so you immersion therapy into things, by that point it's been ingrained. Please leave them alone. I've recently seen what well-intended and poorly executed stuff can do, and I'm having to be careful because this comes under the somewhere between personal HIPAA and the white collar paper collar clauses. But someone I know is a Vietnam veteran and has severe PTSD, and the fear is that the doctor attempted to, through tell me all about it, immersion kind of re-experience therapy, tried to be of service, and they were not. Because, if you have the same nightmare every night, you will find you experience it enough. So please be very, if you're going into therapy, if you're going into counseling, I'll say it again, please be very careful and pay attention, not just to your training and the symptoms, but the duration and surroundings of said symptoms, because it is possible to do more harm than good. And let's see. We covered that. Hey, Donna. Good morning. And I'm sorry if that seems crunchy. Occasionally a topic will come up that in the background when I'm doing the job that I do, what I call my gig, it hits a little close to home. So sorry if I seem crunchy. So Sarah says, my favorite class in college was abnormal psychology. Didn't specify, though. I didn't mean I want to live it and study myself. Facepalm. Good loophole find, universe. Hi, Alec. And Sarah, I understand. My favorite classes, aside from art, which was just, I got to take one art class my entire career, entire college time, and I already knew what they taught me. But I did get some good books and points that my personal training got a lot better. So, okay, cool. I heard a bang and I want to make sure that it wasn't the delivery I'm expecting. Let's see. And hearts to Alec and morning all, morning dawn. Here comes the dawn, shooby dooby. Here comes the dawn. It's all right now. Everybody's saying hi to Dawn. And Derp, I can't type either. Maybe my forehead will. Now you're taking me back to studying sociology. Taught course at Abnormal Psych. My students had real life stories about some of the ailments because I worked in the field. My psych profs, some were very interesting, but a few were more about, okay, we're just going to label it, throw meds at it, and keep walking. And I wasn't really fond of that. I guess I could change over my normal profile from the creator directory one to my normal. I missed change over to my normal and saw you change my normal one to independent creator directory one, as though, you're being assimilated by your own personalities, Joe. See, occasionally the joys of dyslexia or dyscalculia, which I have that too. Basically, my sequencer is busted. They give me amusing things. And let's see. Dawn says, I was driving on Monday, so I couldn't point out something that was missed. Gradient! Yes, it was a lovely purple gradient. Well presented and aptly supported. Good morning, Dawn. Good morning, Dawn. Hey, Alec. Nick still has 10 minutes of us chatting. I wonder how long the show will go, and hopefully I'll have enough caffeine in me by then. Derp! Morning. Gall, we haven't even got to it. All good morning, Trelena. I hope you're cuddled up somewhere with hobo in your lap and warm blankets on this blustery day. Whatever happens there, I won't tell. Morning times 2, Joe. And Dawn, I gave Nick a gradient dice dragon print. Yes, you did. It's still with the stuff from the convention, but yes. And the lovely Trey is here. Oh, yes, she is. Hearts to Trey. Everybody loves Trey. And I'm going to skip through this. And morning thesis. And we are all glad to see you. And love the soundtrack that you set up. Well done, sir. And Thesis and Foxy. I'm just skipping through the greetings. Greetings. I don't want to miss anyone, so I'll just say greetings, everyone. Yes, greetings. Help, my cat is being cute. He's never cute. Joke. Okay. I don't know how to help you. You're doomed. Good morning, Foxy and Gray. Hey, Trey, I feel you. That's my go-to this morning, too, Trey. LOL. Thesis, I will probably work on your commission later this week. Still need to unpack for the con. See, that's awesome. I love when you hear commissions and sales going up after a convention. If I forgot to name someone by name, my heart says hi. Yes, her heart will go on. LOL, Joe. Joe and I are the same. Yeah, that can all just stay in the van for a while. See, Mandy's the same way. And I'm like, no, get it in the house so we can process it. Trey's the same. We need to unpack the vehicle also. Shame. Shame. The reason I say get the stuff out of the van is some of that stuff takes more damage the longer it's in the car. So get it out so you can check it out. But then most of you don't bring as much terrain and miniatures as I do everywhere. Hey, Dawn. Dawn didn't mean to taco block anyone. Taco Blocko. Wow. Yeah, I got to do that unpack thing. Now, I will say my living room looks like a warehouse of clear plastic totes, but that's because I'm trying to clean my living room and just a lot of cleaning is going on. All my stuff I brought to the con is sitting in the living room until I can work on cleaning my room. See, we're in the same boat there. And I have a comment dump, so let's do that. Wow. Oh boy. I'm getting near the hour, and You guys are still just flying. Okay, let's see. Where are we? Oh, my Lord in heaven. Do, 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 do. Okay. I still haven't gotten my supposed 2-week notice from the investment firm who has my pension. First check was supposed to be deposited March 1st. If it isn't, I foresee a long call resulting. Oh, gee. I knew I liked Trey for some reason. I like Trey for a lot of reasons. But at least I could get a spare room as an office. Mom gave me all that space for all my art stuff. Now all I got to do is clean it out. That's amazing. Interesting. Thesis doesn't show up at all for me. Probably got too annoyed with my hyperness at times. Who knows? I could see him Monday. It's all good, though. Just strange. I don't think Thesis blocked you. If he did, it was accidental. That's very strange. But we have technical issues sometimes. Painting the walls, very tempting. After you get your grades up, set that as a reward. Yeah, Dan, this is frustrating. But the first check is almost always late. Direct deposit is much faster. Alec has a studio. Sweet. And not a problem, Joe. I understand needing to take a break after things like that. And Alec, your mom totally rocks. Yes, Don, I need to clear out some stuff and move my stuff and organize it all. Morning, all. Foxy's in the house. Hey, Thesis and Foxy. It will be direct deposit. Just supposed to be an email notification 2 weeks ago, and the IRA account balance showing up in my Fidelity account website. Oh, geez. Sarah, at the top, choose live chat instead of the one that defaults. There. That is lovely, Foxy. Okay, Dan. And now the sick is finally caught up to me. Burr, burr, burr. Well, we hope you get feeling better soon. And after working 44 years, it's nice not to have to go to the bank to cash a check. That sounds nice. And I'm on antibiotics and still not feeling much better. This one's a doozy. You guys take care of yourselves. I have some new material coming my way that I hope will make things just a touch better. A small desk-like object, because my rig is currently on a folding lap desk thing, and I needed something a little higher, probably. So there we go. And let's see. Oh no, Thesis. Here we go. Oof, hope you two get feeling better soon. Yes, please do. And there's Thesis. Never mind the earlier comment. Not fully awake. So do we. I hope I still have my voice for stream on Saturday. Showtime. Foxy says, I have another appointment Friday, but if not, by then we will get more meds. Wow, Foxy. Hugs. Rough. Sinus infection of doom. Sarah wants it rough. Wow. 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 Carl, not the green room. No. No. Do not on a hump day hand me that line. Don't you do it. Fox, we have a pollen alert out here. Hope you have it better soon. See, the problem is we have a pollen alert at 30-mile-an-hour winds, so it's like machine gunning pollen at your face. Foxy, LOL. And yes, I know it's almost time to do some switching over. Not the level of Foxy, but oh yeah. Wait, Sarah knows personal stuff about me? I don't think I was that famous. You have been discussed, but I'm walking. I'm not looking at it. I'm keeping it between the navigational buoys. I can speak it. Ah! Freaking Wednesdays. Okay. And we had tornado watch yesterday. Tornado went. Joe was telling me a tornado went right by the state line or the county line, and then up into Michigan. So Lake Michigan. So yeah, I was hoping it sucked the rats out of the mill. That way you have a ratnado. Hey, sci-fi asylum, hook me up. Ratnado. I mean, you give me a budget and I can make it. I'm not even worried about a budget of what. Well, now I love how Foxy's getting a reputation, and she's just so kind and sweet. The best ones usually are. Don says, our temps drop faster than a prom dress. Don't want to leave my house until they balance out, because with my luck, I'll get sick. I will tell you that right now in my study, it is Arctic, because the old, cracked storm window situation is blowing like here. Let me show you. Can I show you? Yeah, okay, watch. It's inflated like a balloon. Ah! And behold my ceiling fan. Here I am to save the day. I peep. Yep. LOL. Oh my. Funny part, Carl, is you're not wrong. That's my girl. Quiet, sweet, and innocent until she isn't. Aw. So did I, Alec. Unfortunately, I didn't get a full thunderstorm, just a tease of one. We watched all the storms do their northern blast across the sky thing. And Joe says, yes, there was a tornado spotted about 10 to 15 miles from me last night on the East Chicago Gary border. Reports say it started about 500 to 1,000 yards inland before heading out to Lake Michigan. Woo! Tornadoes are darts that God throws at the board, And that is how your natural disaster should be. Short-term and random. I mean this, we have annual mudslides or, earthquakes or things like that. This is not, no, we don't, predictable apocalyptic disasters is not how they're meant to be. Learn from the Midwest. It's much more fun to sit out there and look and go, is that a tornado? What is that? So I am at just past the hour. So I'm going to run an ad, and then I'll probably switch over to art mode and we'll go through the rest of the chat. I need a lengthy-ish one. I haven't run Cindy's in a while. Oh, wow. Okay, it's going to set up like that. Hi, Joe.
Greetings. You want me to run through the comments and catch you up while you start working on art?
Right. Sounds good. And, yeah, we'll do that. Let me... I'm going to make the art the full thing because that's what you guys want to see.
Yep.
And give me just a second because I have to have the beat of something. So I'm just going to run this fairly quietly just to give me a beat. And we'll start. Well, I'll start working on the art while you guys do your thing. And yes, the time lapse is recording.
It's almost like you knew we were going to ask.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so get back.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. No, you're fine.
Oh. All right, getting back into the comments here. We're Foxy. I miss thunderstorms sometimes. We don't get them much here. There's nothing better to fall asleep to than a nice thunderstorm.
I have to have rain noise on to sleep. So yes. Oh, that is not the right brush. Let's hit the undo button. But yeah, thunderstorms are great.
Yes. Carl says, right, Don, I still want you to go get those special Leap Day Munsies, but that wind will give you an earache. Please take care. Well, Leap Day's tomorrow, so hopefully the weather, I know the weather's going to start going back on the uptrend, so hopefully she'll be able to get those tomorrow.
I hope so.
I had commented, some of the mill workers got a good video of the tornado that's currently floating around Facebook.
Oh, cool. I look forward to looking that one up because I do love a good tornado video. Can I say the chat? What's up?
Check out Region News Source on Facebook. I know one of the videos is on there. And Paul Goodard, which I think he runs the Region News Source page, has posted several because he's also a storm chaser. So I don't know if he actually got a video of it. I know he was in the Hammond area when the sirens were going off. But the videos I've seen were pretty much, you could tell they were like, it was from the mill workers because like one was ground level and like the rest you could tell they were up like on one of the stacks or something. Sarah says, and being in Illinois, we went from 70 degrees the past 2 days to below freezing and windy right now. Nothing like a 50-degree drop. Yeah, the temperature dropped like it saw a state trooper sitting on the side of the road.
Yep.
And Foxy says they went from almost 60 to 11 degrees today.
Yeah. I think we were 6 degrees at 5 a.m. from 86 yesterday.
Yeah. Yeah, we were in the low to mid 70s up here in Northwest Indiana yesterday. And the weather reports were saying we were going to be near zero after when you figure in wind chill. I have not looked at the current temperature. I do not want to look at the current temperature because my coat is currently in my truck. So,
yeah, that's not a good thing. You like seriously wrap up in a blanket or something. Like I threatened to do the stream in a bathrobe.
Oh, I've got plenty of insulation on me. I can make it from the front door to the truck. Blaze says we had pretty good wind Monday night and going into yesterday. Today is much better and into the 50s.
Oh, see, that's nice.
Sarah says, I can't wait to get a copy of your horror book, Nick, as soon as she can.
Oh, wonderful. I do hope you enjoy it.
Carl says, I need to just order a bunch of cat food on Amazon so I can review books again. Greedy Amazon.
Oh, yeah, I forget that you can't do reviews unless you buy enough stuff. But frankly, I spend so much on Amazon that it's never been a problem. I'm sorry, I thought I'd keep on theme with the discussion for today's
show. Grey Wolf says it was 70 here in Middle Tennessee this morning, and we have a cold front passing through. It'll be 28 tonight, then back up to about 74 Saturday. Yeah, I think we're looking at mid-60s by Saturday and Sunday, so...
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And
I have to find out if it's handy Saturday or not.
We have Carl greeting Gray greeting Carl, more greetings. And then my reminder, The Burning is Love will not be on tonight, but will return next week along with Behind the Code. Both shows are now at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central.
Ooh.
Just so that there's less confusion as to what time I have to be on the air, because, yeah, I've almost missed a few of my own shows.
I don't know what you're talking about, Joe. I mean, I've never had that sort of problem.
Right?
And we got greetings, it looks like.
Yep, greetings to Gray. Sarah says, sounds like Illinois. Gray. Carl says, I had ordered 15 copies of Death Down Under for 2 cons, and I think that I've nearly sold out of them through Indie City Con and personal meetings. Yikes. That's a good thing,
that's excellent. That's wonderful. That should be a good markup if you're making those kind of sales.
Mm-hmm. And Foxy says, Trey, your amethyst has shipped, just waiting on the pearl.
Ooh. I know what that kind of thing is about.
And Dawn says,
wait. Pearl? Amethyst and pearl necklace? Wow. I'm just going to keep walking. Go on quick before I did not the green room myself.
Okay. Dawn says, Squeeness. Carl, what will we do tonight without Burning His Love show? Discord is always open. Sarah says, I want to read all the horror encrypted books.
Well, I like I said, I hope you enjoy it. It's a thing. And yes, I love horror and cryptids as well. I'm trying to think who all. Lately, I've been on an audiobook kick, so I've been listening to a lot of the Vampire Hunter D novels and Mr. Creeps, because I love Mr. Creeps, who's a podcast reader, horror podcast guy on YouTube and like Spotify. It is challenging, and talking art for just a moment, trying to get that perfect shade of quasi green that the sky turns when there's a tornado going.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many of them you guys have sat through, but yes. Sarah, do you like creepy spy books? Does she? Inquiring minds want to know.
Carl says, step over to my van. Dawn says, how about a cryptid comic?
That can be arranged.
Sarah says, for show, this is definitely reading weather, and I did not activate you. I said for show, not Siri. And now you're going to activate again.
She knows how it rolls. The show.
Mm-hmm. Dawn says, I've been in Carl's van.
About that life. What? You've been in Carl's van?
Dawn says, I've been in Carl's van for hours. It isn't that bad. And
well,
Carl says,
Dawn, doesn't it have like candy and free puppies? At least that's what was on the side of Carl's van last time I saw it.
And Carl says, supposedly, if the paste using Control-Shift-V, it is supposed to paste without formatting. Supposed to. I think that's correct. I actually think I read that recently. Sarah says, yep, I consider those as things to read as well. Cold enough outside to take a mental day off and read. After this and after Honey Nut Cheerios and chocolate milk. Yum. Actually, that doesn't sound bad right now.
That really doesn't. I could use something for lunch. I was bad and I had a breakfast sandwich, but it just...
Carl says, it isn't that bad. Not one of my best reviews, but okay, Dawn.
Wow.
Yeah. Dawn says, okay, someone drop Grant's link for Sarah. And haha, Carl, I worded it that way on purpose. Teehee.
Well, you know what you're doing.
Sarah says, oh, and I need to get into my messages. I'll catch up, I promise. And here we have the link to Grant's Kickstarter. Kickstarter.com/project/Mr. Grantastic/league-of-cryptids-1.
Nice. Much appreciated.
Yeah, Dawn says, thank you, Carl. And Carl says, it's okay, Dawn, you didn't get in the very back of the van.
Oh, my.
Alex says, my friend Jamie from my church brought me a Caesar chicken wrap. I had one of those last night for dinner.
Ooh.
And
That actually sounds really good.
Sarah's sending a heart. Oh,
This is
that was at the con that they brought the chicken wrap. Okay. I wondered where you ended up getting that chicken wrap from.
Smells
Bladed-
good, I'll tell you that.
Yeah. Bladed says, but on the plus side, I got my new video approved and published, so go check it out. And you can find it at the link there on the screen, or it should also be on his YouTube channel.
Yeah,
Dawn
Jesus
says-
did a wonderful job with that.
I'll have to go look it up here in a little bit. Man, I'm still an hour behind in the comments. Dawn says, I completely appreciated the special za. That meant the world to me.
I want to take care of you guys. You take care of your vendors. You take care of your friends. That's how it is. Rising tide feeds all bellies.
And Dawn's asking Thesis, can you send the link to me via Messenger, please? And we have Kelly Carlisle here. Good morning, friends. Good morning, Kelly.
Good morning, Kelly Carlisle. Kelly Carlisle is the tour de force author and creator behind From the Paranormal Case Files of Bishop Kincaid, The Rembrandt Stratagem, which is, if you guys aren't buying that book, you're not paying attention. Sorry. Reflexive plugs. Continue.
And we have greetings to Kelly.
Okay.
And more greetings. And a slight typo by Foxy, which she says, I swear I can type, sorta.
Don't worry about it. Don't even worry about it. Well,
And Richie says, accountability. Started making crosses for stock to sell at future cons. Planning on what crosses and Molnir's to have as stock and sourcing rings for owl sculptures. And we're just going to get through this comment dump here real quick. Several comment dumps. Good Lord Almighty.
yeah, there were last time I looked, there were 43 comments from when I had started typing.
Yeah.
Because I'm doing this.
And Sarah says you get a pass, Foxy. It's too early to brain. Yes, it is. As I take another sip of the zero sugar monster next to me.
Sounds good.
Not really. I can't stand the green one, but I was out of other caffeine options, and I didn't feel like coffee this morning.
See, this is the kind of morning where I miss coffee. Oh my gosh.
And Kelly says another day of work, waiting on that first pot of jet black coffee to enliven me to a state of creative joy. And she says, glad to see everyone here this morning. And this was back at 9:19 my time, which would have been 10:19 your time, Nick. It's Foxy says, "Amen." It's just after 8 for us.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forget the mountain time joy.
Mm-hmm. Yes, folks, this show spans 3 time zones. Or more when we have Bonzart and Mike Jimmy in the chat. And we have Dawn greeting Rich. And Sarah says, "Yeah, that's just a nope brain situation." And we have greetings to Rich. And Foxy says, "We're all here for you, Alec." And Alex saying, "Thanks, Foxy." Sarah says, "I'm always here for you, Alec, no matter what." And Carl Witzman says, "While on the way to Indie CD Con, I thought up a great title for a short story that I'll do someday. Something Fowler and Fowler. Might feature some cryptids and urban legends."
Oh, that sounds delightful. Oh, see, I thought Joe was making that remark. Then I looked up and saw no Carl made. Okay, yeah. Just,
Well, no, I was just going to go on with that with, you might need to break out your cloak, cane, and lantern again, Nick, and start taking some walks through Fowler.
You guys are getting me in trouble with the SCP Foundation. And anyway, go on. Sorry.
One says, "Alec, you are loved and supported."
Yep.
Carl says, "No contracts with Lulu. Amazon is the one that does that to authors."
Well, I had to double check.
Yep. Sarah says, "We're here to cheer Alec on, doing a great job getting back on track. You don't have to go through hard times alone nor feel ashamed for any kind of difficulty." This is very true.
Yep, that's what we're here for.
Blaze says, "Alec, you're an amazing artist and school will end one day. Then you can go out into the world as the awesome person you are."
Absolutely. It's just a matter of getting through it. Mm-hmm. I hate to put it that way because it feels, almost shady, but
yeah, just a little too much gray there.
I don't know.
Sarah says, "Not trying to make Alec."
I had to put it in the gray.
Alex says, "Not trying to make out." Sarah says, "Not trying to make Alec uncomfortable for approaching that though." Whoops. And I commented, "Great title for a book, Carl." Donna says, "I showed some friends pictures of the 2 drawings I got from Alec, and they were very impressed to find out he's only 16.
Yeah, Alec is a very talented artist.
And
support talented artists around here.
Alex says, "Thank you, everyone. It means a lot more to me than I can express." Oh. Carl, amok. Sorry, go on.
No, you're fine. Finding which layer I'm on. There we go. No, I think that's delightful. Which we got.
Don says, "Accountability, going to attempt to get some unpacking done. The weather and overdoing it from the weekend have my body screaming, but not too much rest for the wicked."
Yeah. Well, the problem is that there ain't no rest for the wicked. And money don't grow on trees.
Yeah. I probably should do the unpacking of the vehicles today, even though it's cold out, but that'll guarantee that the neighborhood cat is probably at his proper house. Whereas tomorrow, when it's nicer out, I'll have to deal with trying not to trip over him going up and down the stairs or walking into our house. But going back to the comments, Sarah says, "No problem at all, Alec. That's how we roll. #rising tide."
Absolutely, positively. I threw up the horns out of reflex, but,
Yeah. Fox says, slow and steady, Dawn.
Yep, one day at a time. It's all we can do, friends.
And Sarah says, I hope that gives you a bit of a boost. Carl says, please cover your ears out in the wind, Dawn.
Earmuffs for Dawn.
Lady Thesis says, hey, I sound like Christian Bale Batman again with this cold or whatever it is. I can have some fun with this. And Carl says, I want to sell Kelly's Atomic Stories at my booth since my story is in there too.
See, that makes perfect sense.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe you can get a deal from Kelly at, a lower kind of wholesale price, and then price it at the same that she sells it online, so that, you're not undercutting her. Anyway, I'm almost done with this one.
Dawn says, not planning on leaving my house today, lol. Foxy says, you kind of do, Thesis. Hopefully you don't get it as bad as I have been. Dawn?
Yeah.
Dawn says, Carl, I would think that would be okay since your work is in there. Kind of how BKM's table works. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And Carl says, good point, Dawn. And Richie says, challenge accepted. I have no idea what that's in relation to.
Neither. It's terrifying. Anyone who can help us understand that, please, hit us up.
Foxy says, uh-oh, what challenge? And Dawn says, the example table was a success in my opinion. No specific sales, but pretty sure I saw biz being done in the chat.
Yeah. I mean, I know you guys did great at the booth. You and Chris Walker were amazing.
Yes. And Foxy says, woo. And we have Woke Breaker here. Good morning, Woke. Hope you're doing well today.
Good morning, Woke. I want to say thank you for being on Brian's show. In the chat. Because it's always good to have people who have, other experiences and are willing to politely discuss them, because it adds not just validity but purpose to the conversation. So thank you.
And we have greetings to Woke, and we have Chris Walker here. Hello, everyone. Happy Hump Day. Happy Hump Day, Chris.
Happy Hump Day, Chris. I hope you're actually, I hope you're getting in trouble and not getting caught at it. That's the kind of day I hope you're.
And Carl covers ears for the squee. And we have greetings to Chris. Greetings to Chris. And Chris says 10 likes. Got to get those numbers up. And we have greetings to Woke, Chris. Foxy says, hi, Chris. I had a squee, but I might blow out my scratchy voice. And Dawn says, haha, Foxy, no blowing out the voice. And Chris is greeting everyone in the chat. Foxy says it's still not back to normal. Carl says, I don't know that I've ever heard Foxy say more than 10 words, so I'm surprised she has a voice to blow out.
Wow. There is no mercy in the chat.
Right? Bladed Thesis says, no, don't take my paws. How will I run through the forest without them? Chris says, thank you, Nick, and all who were part of Indie CDCon this past Saturday. It was a pleasure and honor to finally meet and see all of you in person. I so enjoyed getting to be part of the event. Chris, it was an honor to have you come all the way up to Indiana for that event. It was a great pleasure to meet you also.
I'm still in shock that that Chris made it all the way from Georgia to my humble, tiny little event. But it was really appreciated. I do wish there had been slightly more turnout, but that's what we could do, right?
Yep. And Sarah says the two Bryans is awesomeness. It's so great to hear Rodman Rabbit talking and laughing. What a doozy of asthma.
Absolutely. It was it did my heart a lot of good to see that, because Brian Rodman is such a great guy, and we know BCAM is. My opinions on BCAM are very standard. Now, just real quick, because I'm doing the artsy stuff, what I'm doing is I want layers of darkness. So I'm putting different layers of fairly thin delusions, and then coming back over to be able to give me different consistencies of light and shadow, and it will make things pop, as you can very well see.
Yeah, no, it's looking really good.
Thank you.
Let's see, where are we at here? Foxy says, I'm just a quiet person most of the time, Carl. Carl says, still waters run deep. And we have greetings from Woke to Carl and Dawn. Foxy says, as my high school teacher once said, it's always the quiet ones. Don says, between two Bryans was a ton of fun last night. I wish I could have gotten to see that. I had prior obligations going on last night, though. Chris Walker. Oh, go ahead.
It was a good one. No, it was a good one. You should check it in the rerun.
Chris Walker says, the quiet ones are the ones you might want to keep an eye on. Just because they are quiet doesn't mean they should be overlooked or easily dismissed.
Exactly.
And Bladen says, not going to green room myself, but she's quiet and a farmer's daughter. Do with that information what you will.
Totally unrelated. My first thought goes to an old Chris Isaacs song. Baby did a bad thing. Baby did it. Anyway, yeah. Yeah. What we got next?
Don says, oh dear, thesis, I green room in my brain.
But we were in the green room. We were in the green room.
Yes, you were.
Y'all remember.
Foxy, I'm quiet until I'm not. And I'm going to comment on the art here for a second. I like the lightning hitting the water. It reminds me of a picture I see floating around Facebook where it's several bolts of lightning hitting this body of water, and the caption just says, God decided to go, you know what? Screw these 7 fish right here. Chris says,
there
we
is
get
something
it
that
you hit the jackpot. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I'm overdoing it. Hold on. When you are looking at a storm and you can see it get backlit, and it just almost works like a jack-o'-lantern. It is something. And yeah, that process of lightning hitting the water is one of those that if you ever get to sit and watch, I've spent a lot of time watching storms. It really it changes things. So yes, thank you. We have a comment? Oh yeah, please say the jackpot. Yes, absolutely.
Carl says, oh, if they only let unbroken people counsel, there will be no counselors. And sometimes the ones who have had their own trauma are better than the normals are.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Because there is a difference between you know know knowing academically something and having gone through it yourself, the other side. I think honestly, most of the time, being a little broken is a prerequisite for being a counselor.
Yep.
Because I mean, it takes having endured some stuff to be willing to sit for hours with somebody while they talk about the horrors and and dealing with the borrowed nightmares. It's a lot. But that can also be a reason people motivate. A lot of times people won't help others. They help others because they couldn't help themselves at a point, I don't know if that makes sense.
Oh, it does. Let's see. Blade says, whatever your brain did is probably tame in comparison to the truth. And Don says, I know, Joe, it was honestly soul-filling giving everyone actual hugs. Carl says, Lamau, Dawn green-roomed in her mind.
Yep. Well, once you've been there, you can't not. I'm going to have to do another gray layer to get this not looking so Disney. Hold on. How many layers are you going to put on this? Many.
As many as are necessary. Carl says, or Dawn says, I'm a rural girl, was quiet until I wasn't, lol. And
Wait, a rural. Okay, rural. I wasn't sure if you were saying rural or rural, so I had to see the writing. Thank you.
Yep. Donna says, there's my Nick voice. Always mojo for you, Nick.
Oh, that's good to hear, Don. I'm glad to see that you're staying warm tonight. Now,
And Chris says, I apologize, Dan. I didn't see you in the chat. Good morning. And Fox says, I'm not a big hugger, but I can make exceptions.
There are exceptions for folks. I understand that. I try to hug, read the room. Are they huggers? Are they shakers?
Blade says, one of these days when I'm feeling up to it, I might do a quick brew tea house to talk about some of my own mental trauma.
Well, if it would help, do it. If you're if it's for any other reason, it's not worth it. I hate to put it that way, but
And Dawn says, I would be honored, Foxy. I'm a hugger, so your exception would be awesome. Dan says, been checking my emails, Chris, plus Nick needs the art today, and I didn't want to delay him too much.
Well, that's appreciated. But since I have the wonder that is having Joe Bachman with me, I can actually multitask a little bit.
Yeah, and I'm only about 50 minutes behind at this point. I have StreamYard up on this screen. I have the YouTube video playing on the other screen, and I keep seeing more chat out of the corner of my eye. Chris says, when someone who isn't a hugger makes exceptions, you should consider yourself lucky and feel honored and fortunate.
Indeed.
That is very true. Leia says, she's better than she used to be. When we first got together, she was uncomfortable hugging anyone. Now she gives special people exceptions.
See, that's delightful.
And we have Chris saying, sounds like you are both good for each other, and that's always a wonderful thing. Yes, it is. Fox says, we have been, and it is a wonderful thing. Thanks, Chris, for the kind words. Blade says, indeed. Thank you, Chris. And Grey Wolf says, abnormal psychology was a required class at Tennessee Temple University. And this next comment goes back to when you were talking about, how my demon form shows occasionally. From not Joe Bachman, resistance is futile. Joe will be assimilated.
Yep. It's beginning to look a lot like poor Joe.
Which Carl followed up with, speaking of abnormal psych, there's the multiple personality.
They do exist!
Fox says, I took some psychology classes in college. They were fascinating. And Sarah says, now called DID, dissociative identity disorder.
There we go. I think that's a good, odd little image. And I will sign off on it. Hopefully, and we can get on with our day. I want my...
And Carl says, I really need to start my YouTube psych course. Don, I will keep looking through all the selfies I took with everyone at the con, and they turned out, or I keep looking through all the selfies I took with everyone at the con, and they turned out amazing.
That really did. Don's been really wonderful about sending me things. And sometime this week, if all goes well, I will be setting up a folder on my Facebook of all the con stuff.
Blade says, my favorite classes were my philosophy classes.
That shocks me, Thesis.
And Carl says, yeah, Sarah, they like to change the names every so often to confuse everyone. Well, not only that, but if you change the name, that means the name of the book gets changed, so the students coming in that next year can't just buy the old copies.
Exactly.
Even though the new copy is just going to have the new name and 99.9% of the same information, most likely. Rich said, showed Misty the baby dragon dice print I bought from Alec. Misty loves it.
I'm glad to hear it. I thought Misty would.
And Chris is greeting Grey Wolf. He says, are you looking for cons to attend? Check out the Southern Fandom Resource Guide. Just about everything from below the Ohio River and from Texas to the Atlantic is listed.
Now, see, we need to see if we can get the Yankees to make a northern one so that, it's within range. That's
and
where her heart goes down.
Well, this goes back to Dawn's welcome, greeting everybody comment. Her heart says hi.
Oh, okay.
Foxy says we're terrible. Nick says, or I said Nick is only an hour behind at this point. It's fine, lol. And we are currently, let's see. I got about 15 minutes. I'm about 45 minutes behind now. And Chris says, morning Cully, apparently not enough caffeine. Also saying, good grief, I couldn't even see the beginning of the chat. Dang. Dawn says, the heart rises at dawn?
Certainly.
And Dan says, I hate to say it, but when Nick starts drawing, I need to go see if I can get OBS set up to record myself writing a short piece of music.
That's fine. Work comes first.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, it seems silly for me to sit here in front of a computer doing this when, I could be sharing it with you guys and chatting. You get what you need to get done, Dan. No one's going to have black.
And Sarah says, yeah, Carl, there's also complex PTSD that was discussed to be added into the DSM-IV. So I'm guessing DSM-IV.
Which they need to.
But it's still all lumped under PTSD for the diagnostic code for now.
Yes, that's something that's been needed to happen for a long time, because you do not treat somebody who is a combat veteran the same way as somebody who was in a traumatic car crash and has phobia of it.
Mhm.
You need with complex PTSD, it's on recurring and continuous for a long period of time. It's a very, very different kind of I almost said injury, but that's almost the right way of looking at it, because it causes flashbacks, and flashbacks basically are a burn. If you think about it as burning yourself, and then at night it heats back up in a spot, so it never heals. Sorry, I'm kind of passionate on that subject.
No, you're good. And I was saying to Dan, I'm probably going to take off soon myself. Need to run some errands today, get some flyers made for the Parks Department. Foxy says some of the diagnostic things are just ugh.
Yeah.
And Dan says, Nick, remember I did make a special Uncle Carl, Not the Green Room, that Joe should have a copy of already. I do, and I'll need to upload that here. Fox says we're going to get green roomed again.
Yep.
Sarah says, you know you want to look at the roughness, Nick. Shenanigans. I think I might be waking up more now. Only took me a couple of hours of being a zombie.
Yeah.
And
I'm trying to be good for the viewer's sake. My gosh.
Carl says, tonight, Foxy, tonight. And Sarah's laughing at drop faster than a prom dress. And whether Leda says, and whether I have a voice or not, I will be there, Carl. So, impromptu green room tonight on the Discord server. Link can be found in the humor group if you're not already there. Carl says, yay. Blade says, probably won't be on until after Foxy and I get off work, but I will be there.
Okay, well.
And Carl says, some night we'll get Sarah and the air conditioner of doom into the green room again. And Foxy says, I just show up over Thesis' shoulder. Sarah says, roll on floor laughing, yes, that thing is filled with rocket fuel, I swear. And Carl says, yep. Lady, you could get on your table and be part of the room too. I'm guessing you meant tablet.
I believe so.
Tablet. Because otherwise I'm green rooming myself.
Yeah, if Thesis wants to get up on the table and do his thing, hey, wouldn't be the first person I've known who's gotten up on a table as part of their professional career.
Did you restart your time lapse?
No, I didn't. Dang it. Thank you. I don't know what I'm going for with this one. I'm just sketching real quick. Real light. Anyway.
Okay, I had to take the comment down just to see what you were drawing because I knew about the section of the body it was at, and I wasn't sure where that was going at first. Sarah says, both B-Cam and Cookie were in my room. They got to witness that thing in action firsthand. It was quite a trip.
Well.
And Chris says, just show up, Foxy. It's always nice to have you participate in the group activities. And Foxy gave a smiley face. Hunt says, Joe is being a Dawn. Oh, well.
Yeah, Joe is my Dawn.
And Carl says, oh, well. Sarah says, oh, crap. I still have to hunt for my tripod. All I know is that it's somewhere in my 15-foot long closet.
Tripod, okay. I thought you said fry pod, and I'm like, you have my fat guy attention.
Right.
What is a fry pod?
Foxy says he can try, but there's only one original Dawn. This is true. And Carl says Foxy's going to get on the table. Nice. Might even dance on it, Foxy says. Sarah says funny equals a tornado is floating around on Facebook. Guess it likes the interwebs on top of in nature. Chris says I'll be at work, but depending on how late it runs, I might make it to the special edition green room tonight.
Ooh, see. Yep. Oh no, Chris Walker coming to the green room. That is a celebrity guest right there.
Sarah says, yep, that wind cuts right through, that's for sure. And Carl says, cool, Chris. Rich says, I think my coat is still in the storage unit. Sarah says, one day all good. Next day, running car to make sure battery doesn't die from the temps. Yeah. Dawn says,
I may have to jumpstart my truck in the very near future.
Dawn says, I'm a Minnesota gal at heart. My winter jacket stays out until May. That is understandable even in our area. Chris says, I could certainly use a green room special edition version.
Oh no. I don't know if that's a good thing or bad.
Blaze says, my coat is in the closet 5 feet from my computer desk. And Foxy says, we'll probably be there. Sarah says this has actually been a very warm winter compared to the usual years. Same with last year. Tomorrow is leap year day.
Monstrously so.
Yeah. Fox says, I know the thesis will pop in and out depending on how I feel.
I think I'm gonna have a drink after that. That felt not green room thyself. Continue.
Don says, yes, he has. How dare he makes me panic. Bad Joe. I'm not sure what I did. I'll take credit for it.
I'll take credit.
Carl says, pearl necklace?
Yes. See, Carl and I unfortunately went to the same spot.
And we have more pearl necklace things, so we're just gonna bust this out right here. Pardon me while I whip this out.
Yeah. I know, Trace.
I just heard a giggle from upstairs with that comment.
That's why I went. I mean, on one side, Trace like family to me. On the other side, but it's a very, very southern family. Anyway, John says hi, Xander. He says hi in case you didn't hear him. And
Chris says that would be diamonds and pearls, Nick.
Ooh. Oh my. Anyway.
And Fox says bracelet actually, but I do necklaces as well. Trey says I was in listening mode and just heard the Foxy comment. I'm so excited. And we have Chris reading Xander. And a Lamau from Carl.
Trelena heard the comment and is now so excited about getting her pearl necklace from Foxy. This is peak Not the Green Room. There are moments where Not the Green Room ascends to such a high level I have to stop everything I'm doing and just comment on how delightful that is. Thank you for just fooding right over my own mind. I return you to our regular drawing. We all hide. Anyway.
They're not here to see us. They're here for the commentary.
They're here for the fry pod. They're here.
Don says, I didn't hear him, but wanted to say hi. And Fox says, glad you're excited, Trey. I am too. And Trey says, I'm currently working on the scrunchies for Foxy. And we have a yay from Foxy. Blatant Thesis says, and that is why I changed the wake up word for my Alexa. If I didn't, it would activate all the time. I wish Apple would give us a way to change it. Because there are times that she who shall not be named will activate when I say Sarah, which I'm surprised all the times I have said Sarah's name today. She hasn't activated. And I have 3 devices all next to me here that would activate with that name right now. And later it says, Control plus Shift plus V works the paste without formatting for me. And Sarah says they were Honey Nut Cheerios. The Honey Nut Cheerios were in chocolate milk instead of white milk. Blaze says, darn Sarah, that sounds good. I might have to try that. And Sarah says, yeah, I clicked on the link for the comic. I can't afford many off of Kickstarter, unfortunately. Bummer. And Don says, well, since the ZA was in the green room, I can see why Alec was apprehensive.
Yeah, but man, that was good pizza. Good ZA, and the green room was quite nice. Spacious.
I gotta quit looking over at the other screen because I just saw a comment that I really just want to scroll down to now. And I'm 40 minutes behind. Woo! Fox says I put chocolate milk and Cocoa Puffs before. What was it I had the like the Count Chocula little chocolate flake things that I put into chocolate milk in front of my area engineer. Pretty sure he felt his blood sugar skyrocket. Sarah says, Chocolicious. And oatmeal is good too. Yeah, in some oatmeals that would be good. And Alex says, yeah, Dawn. Honey and coffee creamer and oatmeal is yummy too. I could see that. Alex says, I internally face-palmed every time I walked into the green room.
As you should.
Bladed says, just cover your ears and run through going, la 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 la. Foxy says, powdered creamer is surprisingly good. Powdered creamer would be good, especially in oatmeal, if you end up making it a little too runny. It would help kind of thicken it up some.
Come on. You want to come over? Oh, is the cat running? Oh, okay. I was going to say you could bring... Was that Snickerdoodle?
Yeah.
Well, you had Snickerdoodle. Okay. Oh, see, I'm drawing a lady advertising a fry pod.
Oh.
Here, give me a second. See? And you're right over there.
Oh.
You want to lean in and say hi to everybody?
Hi.
Okay.
Hi, Xander.
And when you don't know where to look, you look for the red light. Okay? Because that's right by the camera.
Oh.
Okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can go play with the cats. Did you get your Mountain Dew?
Yeah.
Okay. Get your breakfast set up. Have a bowl of cereal. We can make toast later, too. Anyway.
And I'm going to skip ahead to a couple comments. Sarah and Trey are both saying hi to Xander.
Sarah and Trey say hi to you.
Hi.
And so does Foxy.
And so does Foxy.
Dawn again.
And Dawn again. You're just popular. Hi again. Well, I'm glad you guys are having fun. But yeah, we're doing pretty well, folks. I don't know why this became a commercial for a fry pod, but I was going by what we were discussing. And the only other option was to make it a jewelry commercial for, pearl necklaces, only by Authentic. But I think this is going to work. So let's add the layout. Yes.
Sarah says to the comic topic of Kickstarter, I've been cutting back going to my LCS except for maybe 2 times a week max when I used to be there every day. It was open every week. Cut way back, had to.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and Foxy completed her sentence. Apparently, powdered coffee creamer is surprisingly good on popcorn.
Coffee creamer on top. One second. There should be some in the top drawer of the dishwasher. Okay. Well, you want to just munch it? And then I'll make your bowl proper later? Okay. Normally I've tried to mute it, but you guys like hearing how things go, and Wednesdays get interesting anyway.
And Sarah says,
yeah. Go on.
Sarah says, I bring back popcorn with me from one of my jobs at AMC. I can't eat it, but they love it, so sure thing. And she continues on for Carl, just don't write a book about Gays, Illinois, which, by the way, also has a 2-story outhouse. There's so much wrong with all that. I want to know the logistics of a 2-story outhouse, but at the same time, I really don't.
I mean, it shouldn't. The outhouse part is what makes it hard.
Right.
But I mean, theoretically, it should just be you have a tube that runs down
next to the person that's on the first floor.
Yeah.
Yeah, imagine that having a leak.
You
while
mean
you're
capitalism?
using the first floor.
Yeah, that would be a poopy situation. I take a real piss on your day.
Yes, it would.
Okay.
Carl says, we visited that outhouse, Sarah, during a geocaching adventure. Didn't go inside, though. And Sarah also says, by the way, Gaze is right outside of Mattoon. The Mad Gasser 2-story outhouse in Gaze? Lots of beans.
There's so much potential for oddity there. It turns out that the Gaze 2-story outhouse has a secret 3rd story that's just like a whole lab where the Mad Gasser's been developing his vital concoctions.
And Sarah says we had a class trip to go see that stupid thing. That's how pathetic the area is to have to find to do. And Alex says, I gotta going to go work on school. Bye everyone. Love y'all. See you later, Alec.
Bye, Alec. I'll see you tomorrow.
And Sarah says, dumbest field trip ever.
But the education of it all.
We have everyone saying bye to Alec. Carl says, yeah, Sarah, that's a weak field trip. And Sarah says, OMG, it's so pathetic here. Blade says, Sarah, back in elementary school, we went to a Wonder Bread factory for a field trip. And we had to drive 2+ hours to get there.
You know what? We did that too because they gave me a little tiny loaf of Wonder Bread. I remember that. I tend to remember people who give me food.
And Rich says, challenge to find something Nick won't allow in a booth at a con.
Oh, no. There are a lot of things I wouldn't allow at a booth at a con, but I'm just saying it would be comparatively to some people I know.
And this goes back to your to the first picture you did.
Yes.
Look at the lamplighter standing outside watching the tornado. Must be a Midwesterner.
Yep. He's totally not out there going, no, you turn now. Don't make me come over there.
And Sarah says, comments aren't always referenced to at the topic read out loud or the reactions and comments. Probably why some comments seem completely random. Oh, yeah.
That's true, too.
Yeah, because we keep kind of looping back through as we go along here. Dawn says, oh, Rich, I like that challenge. May I join you?
Oh, God. Something tells me my DMs are going to get interesting for a while.
And Sarah says, Law Blade reminds me of Mr. Rogers going through factories. It looks interesting, but it can suck the life out of the workers. Better hours instead of bots doing it, though.
Yep. And you know what? Sometimes some people really just I come to work, I hit the button, you know? I know quite a few people who use that as an excuse to listen to audiobooks. You know? They sit, they hit the button. Life is good.
And I'm going to try and power through the rest of these and get you caught up because I'm going to have to go soon. Chris says, I don't regret my decision to be there in Fowler. To me, it was worth it. Thanks for having me there. Chris, you are welcome up here anytime.
Yeah, you were just an outstanding gentleman, sir.
And apparently I should have read down a little farther first. Sarah says, disregard my last comment. It was from working a ton of hours and very little sleep. I guess that made the last comment sound jaded. Whoops.
It happens.
Yep. Sarah says, when a toddler gets quiet, better go see what's going on. Same thing with adults. Roll on the floor laughing.
Yep. Basically.
And Foxy says, looks like a tornado already.
Yeah. Thank you.
And Sarah says, we had a strobe light effect of silent lightning last night. That was gorgeous.
Oh, I love sitting out on the porch watching like the silent lightning or even hearing it out there when it's rolling. Because usually storms tend to just pass north of us. So I can watch them kind of track diagonal. Oh, it's beautiful.
And Dan says,
messed up though. They get slammed by everything.
Yeah. Dan says, Drat, need to rewatch some OBS tutorials again. And Donna says that at Foxy, old farmer's daughter here too. It says, why does that not surprise me, Donna? Foxy says, sometimes I miss farm life just a bit, at least the space for gardening and such things. Yeah, I can see that. Dawn says, honestly, the B&B was in a small town last weekend. Reminded me of the town I grew up in. It was so nice. Yeah, small towns have a certain aesthetic to them. And Richie says, darn, $400 in rings and still going. Thankfully, I can get work to pick up the tab for it. I love working for a place that gives a stipend for working on hobbies. That is awesome. Fox says that's a lot. And Rich says, well, there's about $150 in change set aside for rings to make dice bags. And Fox says dice bags are always good. And Rich corrects himself. Nope, sorry, about $200 for dice bags. That should be about 10 dice bags or so. And Carl says, oops, Calvin just woke up and realized that it's late for cat lunch time. Maybe we'll be back after. Looks like it's another 5-hour show anyway. Ha! Everyone have a great day.
I'll be switched over to the to me having to run it, so it may go slower, may go faster, I don't know.
And Chris says Kentucky is within comfortable range and Holocon is worth the drive. And see, Don saying bye to Carl, so is Foxy. But it says I almost bought a ring mail dice bag, but decided I needed more dice first. Well, you can never have enough of the shiny click-clacks.
Oh, absolutely. Math rocks rule. Especially, there's always the chance that Joe will menacingly come over and then put his hand in your dice out of vengeance.
Hey, who rolled the highest at the con? That was me.
I know. It was bizarre. And
I still like my running theory as to why.
Uh-huh. It does excuse you of all responsibility.
Most certainly does. Dawn says, Thesis, I know this guy that makes those type of bags. And we have several comments from Sarah all right in a row here, so I'm just going to kind of read them all at once here. Sarah says, absolutely, Nick. Also recurring and dragged on abuse, etc. for CPTSD. We'll talk, Nick. CPTSD is also often comorbid with other diagnoses.
Yes.
Comorbid being having more than one disorder. Usually tending to connect to the trauma in some way, but not always. No absolutes. And now I'll allow you to comment on that whole... It was literally like one sentence on each comment, so I wanted to kind of get through all that so you can comment on the whole thing at once.
Okay. Well, all of that is pretty stout. It's all... I grew up in a household built around my dad's PTSD, because my dad was Royal Water Navy and served in Vietnam. And because I spent a lot of time with him and with other veterans and such matters, I was very familiar with PTSD and I wanted to understand it better. So that was actually my primary area of study in my secondary, which was psychology. So yes, it's a field that's sadly out of date, and there's still too much. It's too easy to victim shame, in my opinion, which happens a lot. We're changing as a society, especially for men, where men can talk about feelings and the burden. You also have to look at when you take something like Vietnam, especially. So much of the damage was exacerbated by the way they were treated when they came home by the people who were in the peace movement. Ironically, it's why a lot of people tend to idealize some of the hippie behavior. And I'm sorry, there's another screen I just glanced up to notice that just threw me off for a second.
My wife just sent me this picture of Hobo.
Well, you want to share it.
Which is why I want to apologize. I didn't mean to laugh after reading Sarah's comments. It just happened that came through immediately after.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And if I could get it to actually play again, it'd be even better, because it was a live photo.
Oh.
And it, yeah. I'm going to have to take that photo and actually turn it into a GIF. Because it is hilarious.
See, it just moved in the thing. Just for a second, it was moving.
Okay, hold on. Let me...
Because whatever you did while it was just a thumbnail, it was moving.
see if I can add it back in there again. No. Really? You're not going to show up as a screen this time? Of course you're not. Yeah, I'm not going to display the message screen on there. Yeah, now it won't do that as you.
Or
Anyway. Alright, so moving along here. Donna says, kitty lunchtime, later's all. We'll see you later, Donna.
let's zoom out and see how we're doing.
And Fox says there's no absolutes in the human mind / condition. This is very true. And we have people saying, we have Dawn saying bye, Foxy saying bye, and Sarah saying bye and love you guys.
Oh, we love you too, Sarah.
And Claire says, I keep hearing about a time lapse. What on earth? The time lapse is for Nick to post his short videos later on of the drawings that he does.
What? I don't know if you've gone to this channel. Yeah, but it takes all the imagery and it condenses it so the picture will just draw itself in front of you for in about 30 seconds. Something that's happened.
And Foxy was explaining the same thing I just did. Sarah says, thanks, Foxy. No problem. A little heart from Sarah.
I have no idea why I decided to do an ad for a kitchen implement where you just dump potatoes in the top and one layer slices it, one layer fries it, and it just drops it down as fries. But
it slices, yes. It dices, it juliennes.
What could it possibly be?
And Dawn says, coffee is your morning, Nick? Referring to Joe as your Dawn.
I miss coffee. Y'all
Sarah says, add under the sheets after every comment when minors aren't in here.
Oh, Lord in heaven. Y'all are going to get me in trouble. And I love you for it. But
Dawn says, bust out while talking about pearl necklaces? Under the sheets.
See, that gets messy. That's one of the few things I don't think you'd want to mess with under the sheets. You need some airspace for that. Anyway,
And Fox says you can make that clean like telling stories under the sheets. Makes me think of like blanket forts when you're a kid.
See, I love when like the brain accidentally goes all wholesome. Excuse me, sir. That's supposed to be.
I love how you say accidentally goes all wholesome.
Yes. Because, like, I wasn't trying to, but sometimes I'll say something that's like, shoot. Now I'm all good guy wholesome-y again. Dang it. I have a reputation to maintain.
And Sarah says, diamonds scratch a lot. But that could be fun, too.
Wow.
Sarah says, dang it, I need to hush. Oh, no, Sarah, you're fine.
No,
And Sarah continues, pearl necklace on the pink? Are you freaking kidding me for trying to be good?
Yeah.
And I'm just going to let this comment be seen, because if I read it right now, she who shall not be named will go off.
Yes, absolutely.
And I can relate to that, Sarah, because when I was IT manager at NDOT, my very first director and the very last director I had were both named Sarah. And when they would call my desk phone, I would say, hey. And almost immediately, both my personal phone and state phone would wake up and go, yes? I'm not talking to you. And Don says, Joe can activate 3 women at the same time.
Hello, wiretap.
Oh, I can do more than just activate 3 women at one time.
Oh, look at you. Well done, sir.
Nick is not the only one who can put the mojo in the dojo. Anyway.
He keeps the JoJo in the dojo. Oh, yes.
And Blaze says, I've done as much as 2 at the same time. 3 sounds like a lot of work. Sarah says, brah, it didn't take much to knock us off fully into the gutter, or at least not suppress it as much as usual.
Yeah, I try to be good. I try to be wholesome, but you guys don't support that. That's not what the show's about. So I'm just gonna endure.
Foxy says, I'm trying to behave.
It is appreciated.
Sarah says, maple syrup is amazing in oatmeal. Yes, it is. And Sarah says, me too, it's difficult right now. And then we had
I'm just wondering how much of a pause was before she said in oatmeal. Anyhow,
and then we had all the greetings to Xander that we've already read. And Dawn says Xander is such a ladies' man.
he doesn't mean to be, but he truly is.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gift.
Sarah says, hey, I has more stickers. Don't remember your address, though.
I will send you that in the DMs.
And Sarah says, yes, so cute.
Stuff.
And Blade had greeted Xander. That one snuck in after I'd scrolled back up.
Okay. He says hi. Hi. Okay.
And Dan's taking off. Time to go pick Lindsay up from the church. We'll see you later, Dan. Probably see you later tonight in the special edition green room. And I'm only 20 minutes behind now. Ha ha ha.
Masterful.
Dawn says, give Lindsay my love. And Fox is saying bye to Dan. Chris, going back to the 2-story outhouse, it's probably for rush hour 2 stories.
And thus the phrase hashtag 2 stories becomes a thing. Wow.
And Sarah says, I wonder if they have an image of it through a Google search. I'm going to have to look later. I really am. That could be your 3rd drawing, Nick.
The 2-story outhouse?
Well, do like a blueprint type drawing.
Boy, this is going to be a confusing one for the people who watch these things. 2-story outhouse. Okay, hold on. I got to finish this up, and then I will work on this whole 2-story outhouse business. If that's what the chat wants.
And Sarah says, oh man, the one I worked at last, it was mega heavy lifting. And
saying that after we've been discussing a two-story outhouse just sounds like it's the poopiest job ever. Lots of heavy lifting? Yeah.
And Blaze says, I got the same mini loaf of bread at the factory.
Mm-hmm.
And continues on with saying, yes, but now I have a velvet bag full of dice and no games to play.
Well, if you go on Amazon, you can get big stompy robots and use your D10. Or you can go to JD Tech Apps and for 99 cents get the quick play rules and a dice roller and all sorts of other things to make it easier for you.
That reminds me, I gotta log into my Google account. I've been getting emails about my tech account, my developer account on there. Sarah says, yeah, sorry about all the comments for one sentence. It's okay. Fox says it happens when your thoughts get scattery. Exactly. And Dawn saw the cute hobo flash on the screen because when I added it originally, it automatically took yours down and put him up. I'm like, no, I don't want you up there yet. Sarah says my PTSD is civilian, but yeah.
Yeah, and see, that's they need to not just have complex, but they really do need to have combat-based versus civilian PTSD, because it's not only is it different, it layers in with the sociological aspect of how they were trained, and how they interact with conflict. Because you take someone, you train them to respond to conflict with deadly force rapidly, you put them in an environment where it's necessary, then you drop them back in modern society, civilian society, with little to no deprogramming, and wonder why they have trouble fitting in, why there's issues. And that's not even PTSD related. That's just part of the idiocy about how we treat our troops. Sorry.
Oh,
that's a bit of a soapbox of mine.
And I was telling Sarah, no problem. Figured it'd be easier for Nick to comment on it. I've read all at once.
And it was. You handled it masterfully.
Sarah says, I'm going to stop commenting so you guys can finish up the show. No, you're fine, Sarah. Keep on commenting. Nick still has one more image to do. I, however, have about 5 minutes before I got to go. And Sarah says, makes sense, Joe. You're fine. I didn't even hear you laugh, Sleeper, and I thought, and OMG, that's hysterical and cute at the same time. And Foxy says, one heck of a blep. Yeah, that picture caught the most perfect moment on there. And Rich says $340.26 from one supplier, $64.45 from a second, and $46.69 from a third. And I thought my hobby was expensive. And Fox says I want a fry pod now.
Me too.
And Chris says, have a great day, everyone. Enjoy your extra day in February. See you on NTF next time in March. Yes, Chris, we will see you Friday, and you have a great day also. And Fox is saying bye to Chris. Play thesis, accidental wholesomeness.
Accidental Wholesomeness 1 would be a great band name. Like it turns out to be like a prog metal, evanescent sounding band, but all the music is actually wholesome in lyrics. I like my ducky. It makes bath time so fun. I love the bubbles. It's time to get it scrubbed. You know what I mean? But
And Carl says, "Oh, you guys are still going." Indeed, Carl says, Foxy.
Alrighty. Let's see. Let me look at this real quick. Yeah, I think I'll just sign off on this. Man, this is going to be one of my more confusing, thumbnails.
And Sarah says, as a teen, our youth group would read hymnal titles and add under the sheets. He is risen under the sheets. Carl, before Nick, I have to flash the green room for Nick. We'll move on to the next comment. Carl says we have some running around to do, so I'll have to catch up with the delicious comments later. Everyone have a great day.
You too, Carl.
Fox says, you too, Carl. Have a nice day yourself. And Sarah says, I'll stop there before I really get in trouble, and I said I would stop commenting. You're fine, Sarah. Sarah says, yes, address equals bueno. We need a green room gradient for special edition green rooms that are announced, Dawn says.
I had to find out if one of these tripods really exists. Sorry. And yes, you want the drawing. Well, like I said, I need the right reference to do it properly.
And Sarah says, just curious what you do with it. 2-story outhouse beyond the Batcave? Too bad that would be against what they allow you to draw. And Sarah says, yes, PTSD with subcategories. Yes, it definitely does need subcategories. She says, my hobbies are shifting. Also depends on cost. Budget is beyond tight. That is very understandable. Fox says, I understand that, Sarah. Our budget doesn't leave any wiggle room. And Rich says, that should make about 20 or so large dice bags, 70 or so crosses, 50 or so Mjolnirs, a few owls, a few angels, a few fairies, and a few flowers, maybe a handful of butterflies. And we have A&E Broadway joining the chat. Good.
Okay, hello.
Good afternoon.
We'll give them a chance, and if not, we'll zap them.
And Fox says, nice, Rich. And Dawn says, sweet, Rich. And that catches you up on comments.
Alrighty. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I am going to take off and run some errands with the wife, grab some lunch, and we will see you Friday on Nevermind the Furthermore.
Sounds great.
I now leave you in the capable hands of Nick and the Nick Field. Have a nice day.
Sorry, I got violently, walk by shooting. Alrighty, I just need to throw the logo up on here, and I realized you can't see some of the screens that pop up when I'm setting things up, so I am sorry for that, but more. But yeah, guys, we're doing pretty darn good. And yes, I don't know why I needed to design a fry pod commercial for an item that does not exist. But, it would be a good thing to have. I don't think any of us would mind an actual fry pod. Put it down here. It looks more commercially. Alrighty, and support single layer PNG NTF 3 6 24. I think I'm correct there. And I need to do one more now. Do you guys seriously want? And everybody said bye to Joe, which is groovy. You guys seriously want me to try to do the double layer outhouse / bat cave? Because I can actually design that for you guys, but I just need to know for the next one, or other suggestions. So I'll give you guys the chance to talk about the other suggestions, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a commercial. So let's see, we're going to stop the music, and I will run a commercial while you guys fill up the chat, come up, a bit, come up with what you want, and I'll run the cryptids commercial for Grant.
Sasquatch, the Loch Ness Monster, Mothman, the Jersey Devil, Chupacabra. For millennia, these creatures have perplexed the human race. But what if they are forces of good? What if they have been sent here by a federation of more advanced alien species to help and defend the human race? That's the premise of League of Cryptids, a new comic book by Grant Lankard, creator of the smash hits Beowulf and Memoirs of the Morbid. His new comic, League of Cryptids, is a 4-part story involving these 5 creatures banding together to defend Earth from an invading alien race, just as one of their members is losing faith in the human race and questioning their mission. The epic tale begins in League of Cryptids 1.
Alrighty, let's check the chat. And yes, Dusty, I can't let you in here because you'll dig around. Sorry, the cat wants to come play. And let's see. Don't forget your time lapse again. Thank you. I will record time lapse. And because I would have. And yes, you gotta see. Okay. Gotham style. Okay, you want a gothic. Let's see. Your hobbies are shifting. Blah, blah, blah. You want a gothic, Gotham style 2-story outhouse. Oh, God. This is not the right material, right program for this. Okay. Gothic 2-story outhouse. Okay. Wow, we're gonna have to get interesting here. Oh, that's neat stuff, but that's not what I was looking for. I have a okay. Ah, shit. Race line. Let's see if we can do this. Yeah, okay. We are going to just hardcore this then. And we're going to go definitely in blue. Actually, no, what we're going to do first, because this is really bright on even me, so we're going to go here. Love that. That's fine. Add another layer. Now we're back here. Back into the blues. And we're going to just set a point. And we're just going to go here. Here. I don't know why I'm going along with it, but here. You want a gothic. Okay, yeah. And then we'll go here. Point here. Oh, I see what I did wrong. Okay, sorry. No, that's not right. Oh, okay, yeah, because I'm forgetting. I've got a top line, so I was doing 3-point perspective. Okay, and do I want to do all that junk? Not really. I don't like how that was going. It let me eyeball it though. Here we go. Yeah, we'll still keep in blue. I'm probably on the Millie pen. Give me the good pen. Okay. Because if we're going gothic with it, it has to go. We're just going to do this. Let's pencil this in. So, yes, it looks scruffy, but it's supposed to look scrunchy. It's in the blues. Trust me, I know where I'm going with this. Getting a quick concept because it has to be gothic. And somebody said Gotham. So this is totally a gargoyle and not a spoken for character I'd get sued for. Hello. Now we're gonna go here. Do this. Come over here. The great and dreaded Arkham Potty. Okay, so that's rough sketched there. Just enough for us. Okay. We'll just do this. Lights. And this is me. I don't think you guys really get to see me thumbnail and doing some strange, but let me see. Going quick through. And yes, Gothic and Gotham 2-story outhouse. Foxy giggles. Nothing like a little challenge, right? Going to watch and go through stickers at the same time. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Hello, Miss Saren. Hello. Hello. He's drawing a Gothic 2-story outhouses. Yes, because I have to. Because of the chat. Hi, yes. Makes sense. The chat was weird today. This chat, hard to imagine. Right? You guys are innocent. Yeah. And now this is just a quick sketch that I'm going to go over. But okay, so now you want it because it wasn't just not enough that you guys see that I've done the thing. You need to know how it works. Okay. This is connected to a hinge here, which makes this piece go there. So let me look at this. How do I want that to work? Slide out. That would pull a cable. Yeah, so the bottom toilet goes out. Here, let's throw this up here. And that pulls and lets you have this lovely space that slides down into Okay. So, and then, certain unnamed licensed figures could go and have a big computer with the chair in front, some cabinets with gadgets, etc. Okay. So, you guys, I don't know if you thought you were throwing me off on this one, but let's hit an inking layer and I'll start working on this. You wanted a Gotham 2-story outhouse. How it works. All right, this is the Gotham Arkham Potty because you guys asked me of it. Asked it of me. So let's get dangerous over here. Never be afraid to try something. One second. I just heard something that needs to be dealt with. So, okay. Hold on, buddy. Just a minute. Let's hear about the Somerton Man.
In 1948, a man was found dead on the beach. But he hadn't just washed up. Oh no, he was very nicely propped up against the seawall, very well dressed. But there were no labels in his clothes. They had all been cut out. Very mysterious, the police thought. And then they found, rolled up in his pocket, a piece of paper from a novel that said Tamam Shud. When they finally traced it, it came back to the Rubaiyat of Omar Khayyam. But it got even more strange, because in the back of the book, when they found that it had been torn out of, there was a code, a secret code that has not been cracked to this very day. When they finally found his suitcase, it had a mysterious jumble of items, some which were very hard to explain. Also in the back of the book was the phone number of a very mysterious nurse. What did she have to do with the death of the Somerton Man? Find Death and Love Down Under, a novel by Carl Witzman, on Lulu.com in both ebook and print format.
Sorry about that. There was a little bit of incident with a cat, but we are fixed. And I'm just going to really kind of quickly ink this in. This is it very much done in having fun with it mode. So no worries, no stress. Because it's not just Gothic and not just Gotham. It has to be both. This is Kevin. Okay? That's who that is. This is Kevin. Right? Not a that's just Kevin. Kevin likes to brood places. Right? His last name's Conway. Conway. You know, like Conway Twitty. Kevin Conway. Yeah, that's it. This is how we avoid getting sued. Yeah, that was a horrible line. Nick, why don't you use the nice line tool? Why are you using a grungy pen? I'm using a grungy pen because it's fun. I'm not using the line tool because it's challenging. Okay. Oh, I typoed that. That should be Parchem. No, no. I think I could use Arkham without getting into too much trouble. Oh, I gotta fix the lettering. Hold on. Make this difficult on me, aren't you? Wait a second. I don't have to do lettering. Ha 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 ha! I have technology. Bam. I'll do that at the end. That's what I'll do. I'll do the lettering at the end. Do this. Let's see. This is silly speed art, but I'll take it. Does it need to be perfect? It just needs to convey the idea. Now that was really off. I have literally a new drawing table thingy coming in. Oh, that's a bad. Okay, we're gonna do it like this. There we go. I don't want to get sued by anybody, so I have to stop humming. I'm going to. Okay. One question: how do you get on the second floor? Is there yeah. You see how this is the ramping bar, and it comes down in the back, which you can't really see real here, but I'll do it over here, and then I'll undo it. But it goes like that. Actually, no. Hold on. Sorry. And then it ramps down. Goes like that. And ramps down. But you can't see it from the front. Okay? Real quick. Kevin, why are you brooding, Kevin? Anyway, where's my fill tool? Fill. Go. Whoops, didn't close my lines. Thought I did. I did not. Excuse me for just a moment. Hit the wrong button. Yay! Oh, I'm. There we go. While I'm here, I'm going to do just this little bit of now. If I've done this at all right, you should be able to go blue, red, Yeah. Build dark gray. I'll just go dark green, like almost black. Yeah. Well, it's the idea of the thing. And this is just the base flat layer, so I don't need to worry too much about it. And Kevin's a bit emo, so he's like all in black for like reasons. Okay. Is this perfect? No. Have I met the prompt? I think we're getting there. Because the prompt was a couple fold. There we go. Okay. We'll tinker with this in a minute. Come over here. Okay. This is what my DM notes look like. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Appreciate those stickers now. Whoa, I'm not indicating an exit. Ooh, and I did the colors and inks on the same layer. I was bad, folks. That's okay. No, I want my black back. Thank you. This is a cutaway. The top one runs into a hose, a pipe. The second one runs into a pipe. They meet up. And the poo goes here. Because we have to, if you got, see, I got asked to do that and how it all worked. Nope. Oh, you're just an angel, Sarah. I mean, a dark angel of the night, but nothing wrong with that. Some of my favorite people count as dark angels of the night. Now this toilet, the whole toilet thing slides forward with a hidden release. When this slides forward, it releases the trapdoor thing. Okay. That slides forward, giving, well, a slide tunnel. Down the slide tunnel is the reset button that activates a motor to pull it back. Oh, this is the float. It's attached to a skinny pole up a tube. And then it goes to a box out here. So when this is full, it lets them know and they can come pump it out. This opens to a secret Kevin layer. With his Kevin chair. And no, I want my black back. Quit giving away. Little pond. Fishies in the pond. This is important stuff. You got to know that there are fishies in the pond. There we go. So, well, and let's see. Sorry, this is a strange one, and it's so many years since I ventured out there. I have to guessing a ladder of some decades, probably, or wraparound deck. Your whole house cool to stickers. It's so awesome. Of course, I bet your wifey will love them. These two, she does. To go through all three, whatever, for not wanting to pay it forward, someone might. Oh, you are awesome. Hey, Grant. Okay, so. Oops. Boy, did you walk into a weird one, Grant. Why is it giving me light? There we go. So to solve, I think this solves everybody's questions. We'll just that way you can figure out how the stairs work. No. Okay, Grant, no worries. Let's see. When playing Skyrim, I was trying to run out of the Thieves Guild before the trapdoor closes. Of course you do. It's the right way. And hey, Grant. Oh, you're okay. You didn't miss much. You're fine. But most people are watching. And we've already ran your ad. After the heavy stack, I still have quite a bit, so no worries, man. You are wonderful. Okay. So now I just have to. Yeah, let me just hide this real quick. Kevin for scale. See, this is the Arkham Potty. Okay, that's this. Look, y'all, I can't get sued. Okay, can't get sued by anybody. This is the Parkham Potty, right? That's because they were inappropriate and you got blocked. Anyway, sorry about that. Being sick is no fun. And Foxy and I are under the weather too. Hey, everybody gets sick. Yeah. Well, what happened, Grant, was people they was challenged me not only to draw what a two-story outhouse would look like, but they wanted a gothic they wanted two-story gothic Gotham art house. And since Gotham could get me sued, it is now in Parkham. Because that was the easiest way to come about not getting sued. And I just need to come here. I need to come here, grab my marker, Millie pen, boost that up quite a bit. Put that there. We're just going to do this. And we're going to go. Do this. Oops. Oops. Undo. Somehow I got the wrong one. Oh, because I doubled it. Ah, that's what I did. Hold on. Okay. Because obviously this is so incredibly necessary, but this is how we're rolling it. I want to darken the city a bit, which I can do very easily. But, so I have on the fly, as an art job, done park and block. And let's see. Okay. Let's see. I've gone with that. I never asked myself why these cities were underground, that there was a nuclear apocalypse. I understand. Yeah, I've had stupid COVID. Well, I'm glad you're doing better, Miss Saren. I want you to feel better. And okay, I may have set OBS up to experiment with. Now that took a while. It happens. Garthic. So blonde wigs. I mean, what? Party on, Wayne. Backstory: there's a tiny village off the town Madgasser called Gaze, Illinois. They literally have a 2-story outhouse. It became a topic, which became a pick idea. And sorry, Miss Saren, my wife and stepdaughter both had COVID a couple weeks ago. I don't know how I got away without it. It happens. Hi, Dan. Didn't know you were here. Grant Lankard. I've been off screen setting up a program to record something. Cool. Now, I think this works. The phrase Kevin for scale is going to stick in my mind basically forever now. And I just feel I have to, shape this in. Oh, Lord. I don't know. I'm a little punchy. But this is one of those I'm going to get DMs about from people who don't understand. Let me just do this real quick. I'll just do it like this. I'll erase what I need to later. Yeah, do it like that. Grab my eraser. High eraser. Hard eraser. Yeah, hard. It's hard. Like you'll be hard. There is a YouTube channel called The Warped Zone. And for a while, they did some amazing musical parodies. And they have one that is an homage to Game of Thrones. And every so often, it will randomly go through my head. So you may have witnessed some of that. Alrighty. This should answer any questions you have on how Kevin over here, which let me come over here. I need to do a few more details. Oh, we need the wrong color. The pad. There's the land pad, and there's the store pass swings out. There's a thing. That's the fresh scent provider because, gosh, it has to. There's all Kevin's TVs because he plays a lot of Minecraft. And his chair. So you guys have found your way, and this goes further into the Kevin cave. But let's see. Okay, so let me go through these comments real quick, and then we'll let's see. That's epic. Glad you got the joke, Nick. And I'm dating myself with Wayne's World reference, but it had to be done. I understand. Nick, I was going to ask you about one of your potential projects. You've mentioned your idea of Paul Bunyan Kaiju Hunter. I was wondering if you're still working on it or if it is stalled. It is delayed because I have some it is delayed because I have some writing projects ahead of it. But yes, I am going to do it. I actually drew the entirety of Paul Bunyan Kaiju Slayer issue 0 as a sort of ash can when I was doing physical therapy and my hands weren't working real well. Occupational therapy. So there's actually about I want to say 12 page, 10 or 12 page statement size graphic, comic kind of thing that I drew then. I get through some deadlines that are coming up for both the second Haints and Hellfire and a couple game design books that have to be done. Then I'm going to revisit the Paul Bunyan Kaiju Slayer. That is probably it's slated for April, but I may get to it sooner. Now, if you have ever been on the Leafy Moss, my folder for the secret holiday I celebrate for authors in April, where we can share our ebooks, you will actually find a PDF version of that. It is not of print quality right now, but I will be redoing it presently. I hope that answers your question. I'm doing a Google search. This is legally a historical monument. Cool. And there you go. Now I'm gonna add the Nevermind. I'm gonna sign off on this, I guess. I don't know. I don't know if I want to do. You know what? If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do it right. Let's go multiply, and we'll give it a good gray. Boom. That way I can. Yes. Yes, Victoria, there is a Santa Claus. Okay. Doing all this so I can have this really simple lighting effect. All righty. And it looks better in gray, actually. So, there is no justification for the insanity that I have put to pen and paper here, other than I love my chat. I gotta sign this thing. I gotta sign this thing. I have to take responsibility for what I have done here today. Oh, Lord in heaven. Okay. So, updates onto it, but yeah. Yeah, I'm going to use that as my practice piece to learn the multi-page editing version of Clip Studio. I mean, I have the tools, but I've never done it. So I'm going to try to do that. And thank you. Yes. Like I said, I appreciate you remembering the project. The link has a pic of it. Updates would have done to it because it would have rotted. Yeah, of course. Who empties the septic tank? Gotham. The Gotham septic system. They just bring in a tube and drop it down. I'm sorry, the Parkham. We love you too, Nick. Reminds me of the guy, Family Guy, when Peter says, "It's in my raccoon wounds." All righty. So let me save the save as. Okay. Gothic, Gotham, 2-story outhouse challenge. Jeez. I can type. Speed paint. Because this is all fast. I can't believe it's Kevin for scale. Oh, that's good. Kevin for scale is just going to sit in the back of my mind basically forever. Export PNG. Oh. Export, of course, because I remember the time lapse for this one. So I'm exporting the time lapses. You guys can't see the windows pop up, which kind of pops me. Hork. Those are some square-shaped poops. Oh. Well, see, you know what this is? Wombat. Anyway, this is an homage. And there's that word again. Oh. How to make it worse. Oh, Brian K. Morris, forgive me for what I'm about to do. Anyway, no, not blue. Not blue. Red, please. Thank you. Well, never mind the furthermore. Typo it, sure. That's almost perfect for man. This is telling me that Friday is going to be strange. Okay. Just this. Export single layer PNG. And TF 3824. I either have the dates right or I don't, but I'll be able to find it. I'm going to redraw this at some point. I am going to absolutely redraw this. And let's see, what are the comments? Park and potty. Go to the tree for when to poop. Can you imagine what would happen if there's a pipe bursting someone in on the first floor? Do it! Oh my gosh, I will take responsibility. I can't believe when people. There you go. Shenanigans. Yes. I don't quite know how to process this one. I feel like I have done some great vile thing, but this is what happens when I'm tired, folks. And I feel myself, so you know that these are real shenanigans. But I've been on for over 3 hours, and little man needs me to overlord, watch over his breakfast or his lunch and get everything in order. I hope you've enjoyed this program. Like I said, I will have to do a dedicated image of Park and Potty at some point. But there we go. Who knows? There may be multiple, we may come back to Kevin for scale. But Guys, I just want you guys to keep writing and keep drawing, because you know what? I love you guys, and you should too. And when you write and when you draw, you can always edit it. You can improve it. You can redo it. I intend to do a much better image of Parkham Potty when I am not watching the chat and I am not kind of deranged by it. But I hope you enjoyed this. I will be back Friday for another episode of Nevermind the Furthermore. Till then, folks, have a great day. And I'll be messaging Sarah shortly. Toodles.